I guess it's kind of like imagining that you've got a magical wallet that can either spend the money that's in there on yourself, no magic involved, or if you were to give it to someone else, it would turn into 100 times as much money. Once you start thinking about it like that, it's pretty exciting. For as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in helping others and trying to make a difference in people's lives. I came across the work of Peter Singer, and I really came out of it feeling that yes, actually, we really do have serious responsibilities to people in poorer countries. People in Britain or Australia or the US were about 100 times richer than the poorest billion people in the world. When we give money to people who have about 100th as much, our money can actually go something like 100 times further. The pledge is a lifelong commitment to give at least a tenth of everything that you earn to help others who need it more than you, and to help them as effectively as possible. If this idea could become a global norm that would have tremendous power, the most extreme forms of poverty would be relegated to the history books. When we launched Given What We Can, I remember doing a radio interview. The DJ there, said, "Well, it's all very nice, but I don't think you'll get even a single person to do this thing."
When I first saw the option to pledge, I very quickly knew that it was the right thing for me to do. I think I was subconsciously needing that, wanted to do something like that.
Well, yeah, I was like, oh, that's so much money, but it's really not when it comes down to it.
It's something that I could do and that I felt quite assured that it was going to keep me responsible for doing good over a long period of time and consistently.
That was really energizing and inspiring to me that we had this massive opportunity to help people.
The pledge is now an established idea with a strong community behind it. More than 9,000 people have made the lifetime commitment to give at least a tenth of their income. And so far, those members have given more than $250 million and have been able to have a really tremendous influence on the world.
What could we do with 1 year of the 1% giving 10%? For $260 billion, we could ensure that nobody lives below the extreme poverty line for the year. For $300 billion, we could massively reduce the risk of the next pandemic. For $840 billion, we can double what we spend on clean energy research and development and really speed up progress to end climate change.
If you have a median wage in a rich country, you're already part of the richest 3.5% in the world. So it's really important to emphasize that this is not a movement of millionaires and billionaires. This is a movement of just middle-class people. To be honest, I don't think it has to be that big of a sacrifice. Actually, I think it's a situation where you're actually gaining something after taking the pledge, because it just feels so good to know that this money, that I didn't waste it, and it's working in the world right now to make the world a much better place. I think that giving 10% effectively should become a cultural norm. Something that is as normal as brushing your teeth, voting during elections. I think it should just become something that you do as a good citizen.
What I needed was a more kind of structured way of doing this. So, if I imagined that my salary was, say, 10% lower, and then just transfer the other money into a different bank account, and in doing so, one can make this single kind of big choice about how to live one's life, instead of making thousands or tens of thousands of small, kind of agonizing choices.
The pledge adds a sense of community and belonging. You get a number every time you pledge, so you can see how many people have pledged before you so that you're not alone in this journey.
I was doing all this reading and finding that I just really resonated with the values and the principles behind this community and this pledge in particular.
Cost effectiveness was just this really centrally important idea, which is how much can you achieve per dollar. There is very often more than a factor of 100 between the most effective ways of doing things and the less effective ways of doing them. So much rides on this choice about where one gives.
You know, those things together, that I could give 10% of my income and still, you know, be happy and financially secure and live a good life. And that there actually are really excellent evidence-based charities out there where I can be confident that my donation will do a tremendous amount of good. Those things together showed me that I would be doing a lot more good for others than I would be costing myself.
If you look at the evidence that has been collected by organizations like Giving What We Can, you actually start getting really hopeful. You're like, holy shit.
It's not just that it's kind of fulfilling some kind of challenge or responsibility that we have. For me and for so many people I've talked to, it's a really rewarding way to do it as well. Instead of running away or feeling challenged, by one's responsibilities, to meet them head on and to say, you know what, I want to make this a big part of my life, and I want to kind of take control of it, and take responsibility, and make these choices actively. And in doing so, have the opportunity to transform thousands of people's lives.